Alright, hello everybody. Just making sure we're actually up and running here. Alright, hey everybody. Alright, welcome to the finals of the Mind Sports Olympiad here. We've got a great table for these finals. I am streaming here at a 5-minute delay per the rules of the tournament. So if something gets messed up, it's not going to get fixed for 5 minutes. But in any case, let's get caught up on the setup and auction, and then we can get caught up on the tournament. If someone can tell me if my voice and the music are at reasonable levels, or if they're not, that would be appreciated, and in 5 minutes I will sure adjust them as needed. Alright, so what have we got here? So the finals here are being played on Fjords. It looks like we've got 3 picks already, so let's look. We've got Nomads, Mermaids, and Alchemists in. So we're just waiting on Hephaestus to round out the 4. In terms of the setup, looking at the scoring track from back to front, we got trading posts in the last round, trading houses in the last round, dwellings round 5, trading houses round 4, and then first round we're looking at big buildings. So to me this reads like a pretty high scoring track. A lot of factions can take advantage of the late trading posts and dwellings to sort of capitalize on scoring. Some factions can get out of town round 2, and certainly there's some factions that want to start with a big building. So I think we'll expect a lot of scoring there. Looking at the bonus tiles, we've got, let me adjust this a little bit. We've got, which tiles are missing? We're missing ship scoring, we're missing the 4 coins and a cult step, and we're missing the trading posts pass tile for points. So I guess we are missing 2 bonus tiles for points, but it looks like there's a lot of pass tiles that players can really take advantage of in the first round here. So we'll see. So we've got a 4th pick, and we've got dwarves in 4th here. So nomads, mermaids, alchemists, dwarves. Looking on the color wheel, it looks pretty friendly. Alchemists and mermaids are color neighbors, but then nomads and dwarves don't have any direct color neighbors. So I think we're in for a really good show here. It looks like a high scoring setup. These are all really strong players. It looks like we've got things started off on Alchemist while Claybo thinks about what the second guess is, what the second bet here is going to be. And Claybo jumps on mermaids right away. And then Simon on Alchemist, Hephaestus on Alchemist. All right, so the bidding started. Let me get anyone who hasn't been following the tournament or playing in the tournament caught up here. Oh, that's interesting. All right, we've already got 3 factions bid on. Well, let's get everyone caught up here on what has happened in the tournament so far. So, Mind Sports Olympiad is a larger tournament than just Terra Mystica. It's based out of the UK, I believe. They've been doing this for many years now. This is part of the Grand Prix event, which is a sort of virtual tournament that's happening over the course of a month and a half. So, so far, let me pull up the standings here. We had a round of 16 to start off the tournament. So we had 16 players in total, myself included, actually. I managed to play 1 good game and 1 terrible game. So, and then we ended up with just trying to pull up the results. We ended up with pretty tight race for the top, I think 6 spots going into the finals. Quavo actually made it in by the skin of his teeth, I think was seeded 4th overall to make it to the finals and had 1 tie for first place, 1 tie for second place in the first game and the second game, respectively. That's fun. Oh, and we've already got a game going. Wow. So it looks like we've got the players valuing this as a fairly balanced setup, as well as what I would call a high-scoring setup. Hephaestus is pumped about that. He says, cool, love it. All right, well, enough about the tournament. We've got a game to talk about here. So what are we looking at here? My screen's in an okay place for everyone to see here. So, got Nomads placing first, Mermaids, Dwarves, Alchemists, and then back around to Nomads for the last 2 dwellings. So they start with 3. So, let's look at the West Fjord. So in the West Fjord, let's look at the East Fjord first. So in the East Fjord, we've got, let me turn on hex numbers here so I can talk about something without just pointing my cursor. On the East Fjord, you've got E7, which is where Nomads are going to start, which has a potential Mermaid starting spot next to it, but more importantly, I think, a potential Dwarves starting spot on E8. So Dwarves are going to be placing both of their dwellings right now. They go G4 on the West Fjord, and indeed they go E8 on the East Fjord. So now Nomads have what looks like a really good leech spot on F4. Nomads player is one that I don't think I've played with or seen play before. I'm just going to call Tommy, it looks like, Tumai. So, wow, and Claybo's Mermaids jumps in on F7 here, right in the middle of a big leech zone. Wow, this is going to be a very friendly start. It'll be interesting to see if people upgrade east or west here. But a lot of neighbors to start the game. These players are going blazing fast here. I feel like we're like 2 minutes into the game and we're already starting. All right, so Dwarves are in 4th position, so they're able to claim the spade. It does mean that some of their hexes could be threatened and will be threatened before they get a chance to use that spade, in particular by Mermaids. With Claybo here on Mermaids, can, if he wants it, claim the double spade, since Mermaids start with more power in Bolt 2 than the other factions. So I imagine Claybo would want to start on one of the 3 power bonus tiles here, unless he thinks he can get away with the double spade, with claiming the double spade without those tiles. But I imagine that worker power looks pretty good here. Big buildings in the first round doesn't seem like an event that Mermaids are going to score off of. So I imagine worker power just allows him to, it's an extra resource, allows him to get out more dwellings. So what I'd be looking for here is F8. Hey, Ghostly from 5 minutes ago, or 5 minutes in the future. Oh man, we're going to have to start some time travel thing here. I'm going to be all confused. Take that for playing 4 straight hours of Terra Mystica. Let's see. All right, so we've got to start. So we've got Nomads upgrade in the east to start. Interesting. So again, Claybo, I imagine we'll see Claybo take the double spade here, claim F8 and F3. Claybo did start in temp ship, which means that if he goes with F3, he'll be able to make it all the way over to G2, the blue in the west here. Got our extra dwelling this round. Can't even keep up with these players. I'm barely talking before they can make these moves. So I imagine he'll place F8 here. So otherwise, Alchemists will be able to threaten that hex potentially. Although, you know what? They don't have the power to do so, so maybe that's why he's given it a little bit of a think. Ghostly says Simon loves Alchemists on this map. Yeah. It looks like It looks like Hephaestus ended up on them, but alchemists are a lot of fun on this map. So for anyone who hasn't seen too much of fjords or isn't as familiar, so obviously the main feature of this map is that you've got these two large land masses in the middle. So a lot of this map can be played in terms of digging through the land masses to like great advantage. So the Nomad Stronghold is pretty strong here. Giants Strongholds, which is always happens in the first round pretty much, unless you're a mad person, is also pretty strong here. But there's also the ability to kind of go around the edge of the map by increasing shipping, which is something that alchemists can do earlier than most other factions since they've got unlimited coins. So you'll notice there's this sort of stretch around the outside, I8, E10, A10, A6, C5, that if alchemists or darklings get on free shipping on this map, they're able to ring their way all around the rosy, sometimes as early as round 2, usually more like round 3 or 4, to get out a bunch of dwellings. So I know Simon has played games where he's managed to get out, I think, all of the structures, including landscapes, and has hit that really hard. So it can be a really fun map for alchemists. Red factions, usually Chaos Magicians, have a similar thing going on, where B5, A9, D6, H7 are all possible. But I should really be talking about the actual game, shouldn't I? Alright, so we've seen a bunch of things happen here. So we see Hephaestus on alchemists upgrading both initial dwellings to trading posts. So far, the only power action that's been taken is the double spade. So we do see nomads start stronghold. No surprise here. There's a stronghold bonus tile in the game, and first round is points for stronghold. And they start on worker power. So they're working their way over here. It looks like they're going to be potentially cutting off alchemists, which doesn't look too good for alchemists. The only power action that's taken as far as the double spade by mermaids. So it looks like mermaids have enough resources to get out one more dwelling here on G2, and to get a temple if they so please, which I imagine they'd like to. So, let's see here. So indeed it looks like Claybo on the mermaids is going to be going for E4, for a temple on E4. And we see Hephaestus upgrade temple. So this is likely double temple opening from Hephaestus. The benefit here is that he can upgrade his shipping. He'll have 2 priest income from this maneuver, which means he can upgrade his shipping going into round 2 or 3, but likely round 2. And if he can get a hold of 1 more priest, he'll be able to upgrade shipping all the way to be able to get around the edge of this map, this eastern fjord here. Get out a bunch of dwellings. So we'll see. So Hephaestus is at 12 power right now in both 2, so 6 usable power. With 2 workers left. I imagine he'll want to claim the workers action, and then either pass, and then build a second temple, and either pass on to the priest if it's available, or angle to get the priest power action round 2. Or potentially round 1 if he's got the power for it. Haven't paid much attention to Dwarves' game yet. So Dwarves started on the spade tile. Haven't spent any power yet that I can see. And just upgraded a temple. So Dwarves claim Earth 2 with their first pick. And we see Alchemists have already claimed Earth 1 with their first tile. Nomads with the early pass onto the coins tile. Looks pretty good for Nomads, doesn't it? Round 2 is a town round. So TBD on whether they're going to be able to pull that off. Probably not. If the stronghold location had been in the same place as the other, as the initial sandstorm, I would think maybe, but we'll see. Nomads are going to the second round with a whole lot of power as well. Oh, and you know what? There was another blue hex available to mermaids as well. Looks like Claybo is going for an old-fashioned dwelling rush here. Yeah, without more power, I don't imagine it's going to be getting out of temple as well. So Claybo will build a temple probably in round 2, and in the meantime, it's going to start with trading post 5 dwellings in the first round. Which looks pretty great. It's fun to see a dwelling rush game. It tends to alleviate pressure on Earth 1 too, although this is only a partial building rush, so I imagine mermaids could be interested in Earth 1 later in the game, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so we see Simon on dwarves actually claim the workers action. Hephaestus, what did Hephaestus do? Hephaestus grabbed the priest now. It's playing it safe, so Hephaestus will probably upgrade ship this round. Right? What else would he be doing? Hephaestus has to decide if, assuming he is going in for a second temple, which it looks like this whole opening was sort of planned around 2 temple. Hephaestus has to decide what favorite tile that he'll be taking. So while he's thinking about that, just checking the stream here. Looks like we're at a tidy 5-minute delay. Love to see it. Okay, so Hephaestus advances shipping. I wonder if he's going to get out a dwelling rather than build the second temple this round. He's already claimed Earth 1. So if he's able to pass on to the priest, he doesn't need a second. He doesn't need second temple in order to get enough priest income, I believe. Right? Anyway, so dwarves, we see a tunnel with that workers action. Looks like they're just about out of actions this round. Likewise with mermaids, who have indeed started with their 5 dwellings. Nope, mermaids take the coins action. Wow, so a highly economic start from Playbo here, which seems smart. Not that I'm nearly as strong a player as anyone at this table, but in a high-scoring setup like this, playing a more sort of economically focused game rather than a points-greedy game, at least in the first part of the game, to get up and running, usually pays off pretty well. And while we don't have all 4 pass tiles that score points in the game, we do have 2 of them. These players are playing fast. Alright, what's going on here? So, we saw Hephaestus down-converted some coins. What did I miss? Alright, Simon passes. Claybo passes. So going into round 2, then Hephaestus is sitting on 1 worker right now, so he'll be able to, convert, get the second temple out. Really strong opening for Hephaestus. I imagine he'll go with Earth 2, because otherwise his worker production's pretty low otherwise. So Hephaestus looks like he's got round 2 pretty well figured out here. He'll be able to upgrade shipping twice. Burn a lot of points for coins, as alchemists love to do. And then get out 1, 2, at least 3 dwellings, E10, A10, C5. Then going to round 3, have a lot of workers coming in to work around. So as we wrap up round 1 here, looking at round 2 power actions, while alchemists decide what they're going to pass on to. I imagine one for power. Oh no, temperature, interesting. Okay, so round 2, nomads with a full power bowl starting off. So they're not pretty. They've got some good options here. So Tumai is having to think. Right now, dwarves are the only faction with enough power to take the 4 coins or the 4 workers. They'd have to burn down to 6 power to do so. Alright, so nomads now convert for a coin and don't take a power action yet. So we'll see what the other players do. So Simon on dwarves. There's 2 priests to play around with. Of these factions, dwarves are definitely sort of the cultiest faction. Simon does have the ability to claim some of the 3 spots here on the cult tracks. So I imagine we'll see at least 1 priest to earth from Simon this round. It's a little awkward. That'll get him to the 7th spot on earth. Which is not quite enough to get 2 more spades off of this the cult event at the end of this round. But based on what the other players are looking at, Simon's got whatever he wants, really, I think, for throwing priests to the cults. Yeah, so I'm wondering how much this delay is going to be weird in terms of me commenting on chat, but I'll try to keep up with chat anyways, and if it's, awkward and delayed, you just let me know. So, so Simon does indeed throw Priest to Earth, which makes a ton of sense. I kind of love this start from Dwarves. They've got a little bit of everything going for them. 5 worker income too. Looks good. So yeah, Danny mentions in chat, weird that Nomads developed their town away from their stronghold, given that it's round 2's town round. I assume you mean. I sort of thought the same thing. I assumed they thought that the Leech party was going to be over in the Eastern Fjord, which is why they did that. Or maybe there was considerations about giving power to other players and not wanting to do so, but it looks like that didn't really end up happening. So they sort of missed out on some power they could have gotten from upgrading F4. But in any case, I mean, they've got a lot of power, and it looks like I'm not even going to guess what they're going to try to do this round. Alright, so Hephaestus is already upgraded shipping to 3. The one thing that's a bummer about Alchemists in this setup, although I think this is a really strong start, is that the ship scoring tile is not in the game. If the ship scoring tile were in the game and nobody were interested in it this round, it would be open. And Hephaestus might be able to pass on the early side this round, and that's just 9 points now in round 3, and then probably another 9 at least by the end of the game. So it's a lot of potential points that are not possible in this setup. I think I missed something. Hephaestus is actually on Alchemist here. Still has a Priest in hand after upgrading to 3 shipping. Oh, right, because they are on temp ship. Alright. Alright, so Simon claims the 3 spot on Earth. Clay was able to use the spade that he passed on to get out even more dwellings here. Yeah, this is a very strong start for Mermaids. A lot of good things from all of these factions. I'm trying to figure out. So Nomads claim their copy of Earth 1, which means that Dwarves are missing out on Earth 1 this game. I don't think Dwarves mind that all that much. There's a couple of dwelling rounds coming up they can capitalize on. Still get points for building most of their dwellings here. Pardon me. Okay, and so Mermaids have enough to build out 1 more dwelling on H8 here. And Dwarves also have a lot of resources. I wonder, Dwarves now have enough power to take power action as well. I wonder if the Dwarves will go for, I'm not sure here. On the one hand, Double Spade looks pretty enticing. On the other hand, they do have a spade, at least 1 spade coming in off of the cult track here, going to next round. Alright, so Simon, Dwarves take coins here. Still have some power that they could play around with if they chose. Alchemists throw their Priest to Earth to get a spade. Makes a lot of sense. Still have 2 more dwellings they'll be able to get out this round. Probably 3 even if they get more workers. Use their power for more workers. And we see Nomads have carved out their town space over here, F5, but still have pretty full power bowl, and they're going to pass without building on F5. Nomads pass on to the big building tile. The one thing that Nomads are hurting most for here is coins. They've got 4 in hand. Passing first, I imagine they'll want to take the coins action. Although I sort of imagine that going to this round. But generally speaking, with this setup, with these factions in this setup, sort of all other things equal, you imagine that Alchemists are going to be able to dominate the network race if they have the game that they want to have, and that Dwarves can be able to dominate the cults if they have the game that they want to have. So there's, a lot of exceptions that players can play. Yeah, and see, that's why I was a little bit surprised about Nomad's building not using some of that power to build on F5. So what they did was they forewent the dwelling in order to get the pass tile and the coins action, but they left F5 vulnerable. So we see alchemists double dig, carve that space out. So alchemists have a really good position here. Hephaestus is still able to get out one more dwelling, get 6 worker income. Already has 2 favorite tiles locked up. It has 1 scoring and 1 economic favor tile, and has a spade coming off of the cult, going into a dwelling round. So this looks really good for alchemists here. What do we miss? So let's see. So dwarves and alchemists are still in the round. Alchemists choose which of the hexes here to build out. They go with C5. So they've still got 2 open black hexes available to them. 1 spade coming off the cult, and a dwelling round next round. They already got Earth 1. I imagine they'll be able to end next round, making up some of these points that they're spending DM for coins here. And I imagine they'll be able to finish the next round with all of their dwellings on the board, or at least I'd say 7 of the dwellings on the board, which is really strong. So dwarves are considering what to pass on to. Pass on to the spade. That looks great. And dwarves did manage to get to the 8th spot on the Earth track. I must have missed that. Alright, so Simon went with a Sanctuary here on G4 to claim Water 1. To claim Water 2. So, really interesting play. Allows him to do what he just did, which is to get 2 spades off the cult track. You see H3 here, and D6 there, which is great. So now, dwarves have a bunch of workers, and are going to be able to get out at least 3, maybe 4 dwellings this round, depending on what they do. And Water 2 is a really nice pick too, because they are the cultiest faction here, like we already talked about. So far, only alchemists have thrown a priest of the cults that was not. Otherwise, dwarves have all the spots. This is looking like a nice culty game for dwarves, but they've already got a pretty decent footprint as well. One thing they don't have is a scoring tile yet. So I wonder if Simon's going to prioritize locking up Water 1 at some point as well. We'll see. So Nomads dig H4 with their stronghold action to open the round, cutting off alchemists. A little bit of comments in the chat here. Hephaestus isn't too pleased with that. So yeah, hard to say how much of that is a spite dig versus how much of that is just carving out the town space that they would want anyways. It doesn't seem terrible given the circumstance in terms of developing this western town. But I do wonder if it sets them behind, because it's not working towards getting them access to any more yellow hexes. So although nomads are sitting on a pile of power kernels here, basically out of coins. I do sort of wonder what they're doing in terms of accessing hexes. I guess it's possible they can claim the coins action and the double dig this round, if they can get both. Just looking at other folks' power and see what they want, but I'm a little bit worried about Nomad's game here. Alright, so again, we're in round 3. Just a dwelling round. We've got Claybo here, having burnt all but 4 of his power kernels. 10 workers, 10 coins, and a priest. So I would imagine that Claybo is going to be able to want to hard dig 1 or 2 dwellings here. Use his workers as digs. Because he's got plenty happening, plenty down already. And indeed he does that, so he goes on G3 here. To build out his 8th dwelling. Score points off of the track and the favorite tile. It's still has plenty of resources to go. So next round's a trading post round. This is a really interesting game from Claybo. Playing a lot of the playing the scoring tiles pretty heavily here. He is also sitting on the dwelling pass tile as well, so that's going to be 8 or maybe 7 points when he passes, regardless. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with the rest of his resources he's got in hand now. Simon's just building out some dwellings here, dwarfs. Let's see. But round 3, and folks are still sitting on a good number of resources. So alchemists have a boatload of workers. I wonder if Hephaestus is considering I'm not sure what he's considering. I mean, I imagine he's going to build out at least 2 more dwellings. But he does have the ability to upgrade digging if he chooses. Nope, he goes for the coins. Okay. I wonder how much of that is a spite move against nomads. This is getting a little bit chippy. The thing about alchemists, too, is that 7 coins are essentially 7 points. I mean, Hephaestus was about to convert points to coins anyways. Tokens sometimes make sense as a blocking move, but it usually does set back your economy a little bit. But nomads at least get the double dig, and they take these 2 hexes available to them up here. D3, E6, carve out some town space. And they're still scoring off of Earth 1 and the scoring track, so their score doesn't look bad. Plus they're sitting on a pass tile for some more points. It's hard to tell how people are doing based on points at this point in the game, but nomads and mermaids are both sitting on bonus tiles that'll give them points. And they're both coming up on about 50 here. Hey, Jay. Yeah, this is the final. So there was 3 rounds in the tournament, 16 players that entered, and the first 2 rounds were the preliminaries with a scoring system to determine who went to the finals, and whoever had the highest sort of tournament points passed on to this game. And then this game, whoever wins this game wins it all, regardless of point totals in the tournament. So yeah, I'm also not familiar with this Nomads player too much, but they made it to the finals here. Yeah, my pleasure. No, it's fun to stream. It's fun to cast, particularly when you're not playing. But I was going to watch this game anyways, and yeah, happy to share it with folks and sort of record it so people can hopefully watch it after the fact as well. It's always nice to see spectators on BGA, big list of spectators in the game as well, people watching it live. So what else is going on here? So we've got alchemists with a lot of actions they could take this round. We've got dwarves considering what to do. Yeah, so tunnel's not unexpected here at all. I guess Simon was just looking at where to tunnel to. The tricky thing with dwarves on this map, if you start with 1 dwelling each of the fjords, which is usually a pretty good way to spread out and get some available space, the tricky thing can be connecting. So, in particular, this tournament's being played without landscapes. The dwarves' landscapes allows them to tunnel 2 places, over 2 spaces from the location of their landscape, the Great Tunnel. That's what it's called. But that's not relevant here. So, normally, that would be something that dwarves could take advantage of. In this situation, Simon's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. So there's a couple of paths Simon can take to connection. If he secures H6, he could potentially go I4, but nomads have shown definite interest in playing disruptive with their stronghold here. And they've got 3 more sandstorms in them this game. Plus H6 is a natural 1 dig hex for them. So that doesn't look too promising. Dwarves could also do this D2 E5 situation here. All of this is just very blockable by nomads. So I'm wondering if Simon is even really terribly worried about connecting this game. It'd be hard to beat Alchemists on Network in any case. Mermaids have a very economic opening. They're ending round 3 with a temple and all of their dwellings on the board. So they might continue converting that to a high network. And the Nomad Stronghold is also a building that tends to push this faction towards conquering a lot of territory by the end of the game. Although their access to their natural yellows looks a little bit questionable at the moment. They might be able to change that with some shipping and some well-placed digs, but it remains to be seen. Nomads sure are hurting for coins though, aren't they? It's looking a little bit rough. Mermaids have already claimed the coin pass tile. Yeah, so Mermaids go with the early pass. So what I imagine they're going to be doing here is really focus on scoring off the scoring track. We go into the next round with 14 workers, 15 coins. Not enough power to take power action as of right now to start the round, but that could be a lot of points with building out these trading posts. So it'll be interesting to see if Clabo prioritizes Water 1 or whether Clabo is just going to build out a lot of trading posts. Clabo also is in a good position in terms of being able to build trading posts on F3, G3 here in order to get a town if he so chooses. So we'll see. We'll see what he goes for. Nomads pass out of the round, opening up the big building tile in case anyone's interested in that, which Alchemist might be. So Nomad's going to pass on to the dwelling tile here. So they will be able to claim the coins action. I keep saying that. They've had the option to take the coins action in round 2 and round 3, but didn't choose to do so. And now Simon builds out dwelling with his free dig off the bonus tile here on I2. So dwarves are in a really strong spot as well. We've gotten 7 of their dwellings out by the end of this 3rd round dwelling round. The Alchemists do indeed pass directly onto that big building tile. And actually forgo an easy dwelling to do so. Really don't want to risk missing that. Which allows Simon enough time to use the water 2-step. Chooses to move up air here. Looks like to kind of further his lead in air and also to prepare for the next round cult bonus here. Speaking of cult bonus, we do have with water cult bonus at the end of this round. So looks like both mermaids and dwarves are gonna get a bonus priest going into this next round based on their position on that track. So the dwarves look really like in a pretty strong position on the cults here, but there are some priests coming off the cults here from mermaids. Alchemists have some priests coming as well from the 2 temples. Nomads have staked an early claim in fire as well. Alright, so we see an undo. Simon's just deciding what tile to pass on to here. Dwarves pass on to the priest. Yeah, so more priests are going to cults here. Simon might be able to get 2 more spades off of air cult pretty easily for two total spades off air cult pretty easily. The Clabo's sitting on a boatload of resources. Not enough power to claim power action to start the round. But does have 2 priests in hand as well. So we'll see what he wants to do with all this. I imagine we'll see at least 3 trading posts built out this round. But TBD in terms of what else is going to be happening. I'm going to step away for about a minute. I'll be right back. What did we miss? So Claybo actually builds a trading post over on the eastern fjord here. Which is interesting. So I'm going to be working towards the town here. And Hephaestus with Alchemists claims E5, which is big in a lot of ways. The first way is that I totally forgot to, I totally missed it. I failed to comment on the fact that Alchemists had already upgraded their digs. So that must have happened at the end of last round. So other than hurting for coins, Alchemists are looking really strong here. I imagine they'll be able to get their stronghold out this round. Just get some amount of coin income to sort of start that point hemorrhage. But this E5 take here, we see Claybo take turn F8 into Temple, claim water 1. This E5 take, this red hex in the middle that's now black, is big in a couple of ways that I can see. The first is that it gives alchemists enough space, although expensively, to build out a sanctuary town here without the need for a bridge, or actually without full stop to build the sanctuary town here. Otherwise, it wasn't going to be enough hex to build a town, which could be the difference between 2 and 3 towns or 3 and 4 towns for alchemists. The other big thing about E5 is that it cuts off one of Dwarf's connection paths here. So Dwarf's ability to connect is looking more and more tenuous. And we see Nomads, Sandstorm D2 here, so they're just continuing to carve out their town space. You know, they've got a decent amount of, Tumai has a decent amount of resources here for Nomads. It has some options for this round. Certainly can upgrade a couple of trading posts for town here as part of this larger settlement. But it still doesn't look like they've got a ton of access to their natural yellows. They're about sort of 2 digs away from a lot of that. So I wonder if Ship Town could be a good option for them here. I imagine they'll be going for town. Seems like a good way to spend the resources this turn. Capitalize on the scoring. Trading posts. Round 4 trading posts tend to be a pretty good scoring option for Nomads anyways. And Nomads have been hurting for coins for a lot of this game, so certainly having trading posts up doesn't hurt in that regard, although it does hurt their worker economy. So we've got a little bit of a Water 2 rush happening here. We saw Alchemists claim Water 2 with their Sanctuary here on G5. We saw Mermaids claim Water 2 with their Temple on F8. Now we see the third copy of Water 2 go to Dwarves with this Temple over here. Which leaves Nomads in the dust in that regard. So looking to the rest of the round, we've got scoring for trading posts. The next round's going to be scoring for dwellings, and the final round's going to be scoring for trading posts. So that incentivizes folks to do a couple of things if they're following the track. One is to build out the trading posts this round, obviously, which frees up space for the dwellings next round. The second is to find a way to get spades going into next round, or shipping, to be able to have open spaces to put their available dwellings on. So in terms of factions that are going to be able to build trading posts here, okay, so we see a dig from Claybo on G7. So that secures potential town space. Wonder if he'll make a 5 hex town here with some more trading post upgrades. It also means that connection is not out of the question because Mermaids can upgrade shipping to 5. And this hex, G7, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes away from E4 here. So there's a potential connection path there if Claybo can manage to upgrade to 5 shipping, which is a bit of a tall order, but it's a long game yet. So Nomads do indeed build the trading post to finish this town here with the stronghold. They go for the 2 key town, which is interesting. So Dwarves don't have any coins in hand right now. But they do have really great cult position on Prix the cult tracks. And I imagine they're gonna, if they can pull it off. Oh, and they're not gonna be able to. I think that Simon would have loved to have get one more priest to air here to claim another spade off the Colts this round, but that's not gonna happen because Nomads use their one priest to increase their standing on air as well. I guess Nomads are looking to claim. Yeah, I guess Nomads using the 2 key town to get a couple of second places on the Colts, help with their standing on fire. And it does help them capitalize on these cult rewards. They're going to be getting 1 spade off of the Colts this round, and 4 or more likely 8 power off the Colt next round. So I wasn't expecting 2 key town there, but I see the utility. It's interesting. And so Simon puts a priest to air nonetheless. And it's going to be able to use another priest to bump air 1 more spot for that second spade as well. Now, where's Simon going to be putting those spades? Not sure. Claybo's building out more trading posts. So it's possible that Claybo hits 2 towns this round. I'm not sure whether that's the plan or not, but 1 more trading post over here on the Eastern Fjord, combining these 2 land masses for a town. Gets a town. And then with a coin town, that leaves enough to get a town over here on the Eastern Fjord. Now, whether that's a good idea is a different question, but I do see that it's possible. So this is a really nice and accurate play here by Hephaestus, I would say. Going into this round, passing on to the big building tile, and managed to get out both the Stronghold and the Sanctuary this round, but only just. The only resources left in hand here are Priest. Furthermore, he manages to get yep, there it is. He manages to get all of his power down to Bull 1 to be able to almost maximize the Alchemist Stronghold ability, which is to gain 12 power immediately. So that's great. Yep, and there you see Simon's going to be sending more Priest to cults, getting those rewards. So Simon has a solid point total and good cult presence. Still is lacking. Nope. Simon claimed Water 1, so it's going to be able to get points there as well. So I really like Dwarves' game here. Alchemist's game also looks really strong. There's a lot of really good-looking games here. But Claybo does build another trading post. It has the ability to form a town. So he goes for the coin town. So it looks to me like Claybo's going to be building 2 towns this round. Wonder what the second will be. So Hephaestus passes out of the round onto the dwelling scoring tile, which is great. Next round is a dwelling round, and I imagine, one way or another, he's going to end the round with all of his dwellings on the board. Right now there's 3 left to be built. Probably more than that if you upgrade some trading posts as well. So with Alchemists here, gotta find a way to make up some points, because although some of the endgame scoring might be pretty good for them, the bonus tiles are pretty much a requirement. So with 2 of them in the game, we do see Hephaestus hopping effectively from one to the other. Hephaestus has a short round, may even be able to jump onto the big building tile going into the final round as well. So that remains to be seen. Claybo's up, thinking about what to do. Said has the possibility to build out 1 more trading post. Yep, and there it goes. So with this town, it's got a lot of options. Could make another coin town. What will Claybo be passing on to? We'll see. So Claybo could delay the town if he chose to. But I imagine he'll be taking one. Could take a worker town and build out the last trading post. But then the worker income's going to suffer a little bit from that. Takes a ship town. Okay. So it looks like Claybo is angling towards connection this game. And again, it looks like Dwarves' connection is pretty dubious here as well. Nomads have played pretty aggressively with the stronghold. And to claim both I4 and H6 here on the south before Nomads dig either of them, probably a tall order. So Simon's game may have to rely on not getting any network points at the end. But we see everyone's passed out of the round, and we've got some spades getting thrown around. So we've got Nomads with 1 spade, Dwarves with 2 spades coming off the cult. So Nomads immediately dig H6 here, which looks looks even more rough for Dwarves' potential to connect here. And Dwarves dig out D4, this hex in the middle, for some town space. So Nomads with their first action claim H6. Makes a good amount of sense. So Nomads don't have any shipping at the moment, but again, they've got a full power bowl. Really not prioritizing the power actions for better or for worse here. So we see Hephaestus on Alchemist manages to get the coins here. Alright, so Claybo's got 2 priests, 8 coins, 8 workers, in a full power bowl, 4 power. So I wonder if he's considering upgrading digs here. It's a source of points, and if he claims the workers action right now, no, that doesn't make any sense. He doesn't have nearly enough coins for that. Forget that. What he ends up doing is throwing a priest to fire here. Probably hoping for a 2nd place on fire. And more immediately, there's a cut rewarded if you get 1 more priest to fire. So mermaids have a lot of points right now. It's sitting on 89 points. This game seems to be maybe stalling out slightly. Could be just me, but this does feel like a really quick game. We're less than an hour in. And they're zipping through round 5 here. Dwarves are sitting on a huge pile of workers and not too many coins. They do have power to help compensate for that. We see a tunnel up to A7. Dwarves have 1 more dwelling left on their board before any upgrades. So if connection is still something that they're hoping for, I don't see it happening. Without the landscape, I don't really see any way. So I think that this is just tunneling for points and workers, and just tunneling for points off of the scoring track here. The dwarves do have a number of tunnelable hexes without digs available, so C9 over here, F9, I8. And with spades, they can do more than that as well. So nomads are on 1 ship, and they manage to claim B5. If they take a priest action, or get a priest from elsewhere, coupled with some coins, they could upgrade their shipping to 2 and get to A8 with C8 up in the north. Although they only have 1 dwelling left on their board, so they're going to have to build out their trading posts at some point. So we'll see what their plan is for the rest of the round. With that much power, it's really hard to know what the plan is. But what probably makes more sense for nomads is to sandstorm B4 and use a spade on c4 here. Or even maybe hard dig c4, depending. That frees up a third town space. Doesn't require as much shipping. The nomads are connected to all their structures on one shipping here, which could be really beneficial to them. Their game's chugging along as well. So Claybo hard digs A2, giving him access to B1 over here, building out more dwellings. Claybo's got a lot of structures on the board. I can see why it makes sense to connect here. But unless I'm missing something, he is going to need to upgrade digging to 5 in order to connect. It's going to take a decent amount of coins to do so. It looks like he's got what it takes. Yep, so indeed we do see nomads claim B4 here. Give them access to A4 as well, although they would need to build a trading post in order to free up a dwelling. This game continues to speed right along. So Hephaestus has gotten a bridge action, I believe that was earlier this round. It is now building out dwellings along this I row on the bottom here on the southeast. Working towards the town there. And Hephaestus still has a lot of workers coming in, a couple in hand, as well as some priests, which I imagine it'll make the most sense to use as workers here. Similarly to nomads, alchemists are going to need to build some trading posts to free up these dwellings as well. I guess that's the case with all of the factions right now. It's a little bit of an awkward thing about having the sort of sequence of these scoring rounds at the end of the game here. Simon's deciding what to do here. I wonder if he's considering an early pass. Coins are certainly in short supply for dwarves here. So Simon moves up water, picks up some power along the way, moves up water with the favor tile with the water 2 that he's got. Now Claybo somehow has a full power bowl again here, and the ability to spend that power if he so chooses. Now, this looks like really good power management on Claybo's part to me. The other thing I'm seeing is that he's got 4 power coming in off of the fire cult, and the ability to not waste any of that power as well. So mermaids end up building a temple for water 1 here, for air 1 here. Makes a lot of sense with some trading posts on the board. Gotta find ways to score. Alright, we see nomads pass out of the round for the coins. So nomads are going to have a lot of resources in the final round here. And it looks like they've sort of saved up all of their trading posts, more or less, for this round. I feel like it's rare to see a high-level game where this late in the game there's a player who still has all of their power kernels in their bowls. But it seems to be serving nomads well enough. They've got a decent point total, still 2 towns, easy. And the ability to score trading posts next round. And they've got Earth 1 in hand as well, so it's not bad. Alright, Claybo builds out final dwelling here on B1. Doesn't look like there's another town incoming over in the north here for Claybo. I imagine the resources will be going mostly towards shipping, and that it'll be a little bit difficult to claim another town up there, but we'll see. Hephaestus ends up digging down here on I-10. Digs that hex halfway. Looks like he may be stalling to try to get a pass tile or defend a pass tile here, or both. Looks like it'll probably work out for him. He's got the ability to stall at least 3, maybe 4 or 5 more moves, depending on how he uses his priests and power. Simon is sitting on the big building tile. Has 3 priests in hand, but doesn't have a whole lot, sort of awkward distribution of resources, not a lot of coins, and no more dwellings left on his board. 1 more dwelling left on his board. So could tunnel, build out another dwelling this round, but that would mean that he's likely to be the next to pass. No, you know what? Claybo is actually going to be passing next, isn't he? So we'll see, but there's a little bit of a stall war here because these 2 tiles that alchemists and dwarves are currently sitting on, the big building tile and the dwelling tile, going to be worth a lot of points to whoever gets on them at the end of the game. All right, and then we see Claybo pass out of the round, get a couple of points from fire, from air 1, puts him up to 100. Pass on to the spade. So now it's just up to alchemists and dwarves here to stall or outstall each other. Simon's got a pretty clear 3 actions left, unless I'm mistaken. Hephaestus has at least that. So I imagine Hephaestus is going to want to stall here because that big building tile comes with 8 points and 2 workers, which is not nothing for alchemists as well. But Hephaestus is settling in for a bit of a think. So we'll see what he ends up doing here. We seem to have lost the music. Alright, so Simon sends a priest to Earth to close out that cult, and then passes knowing that he doesn't have the ability to outstall alchemists. And dwarves actually pass on to the shipping tile, which is interesting, so it must be just for that power. So Simon's queuing up a power action going into the next round. So Hephaestus builds out another dwelling in the south here, working towards that second town. And goes for completing that second town, it looks like. So we'll see. There are worker towns available. I imagine that's going to be his best bet here to try to continue working towards securing network. Nope, goes for a priest town. Shows what I know. Sends a priest to water. Maybe even sends another priest to water. Yeah, there it goes. Alright. Nice play. Just about certainly locks up at least second place on water. And passes onto the big building tile. Now here we go, final round of the Mind Sports Olympiad final. And it's looking, at least to me, like a pretty tight game here still. So Nomads are behind on points pretty considerably, but they are sitting on an awful lot of resources. 2 towns incoming. Next up, Mermaids with a full power bolt. With a considerable points lead. And a lot of structures on the board. And then Dwarves right now also look pretty good on points. And have at least, looks like they have 1 more town coming here. This G4 Sanctuary town. Which they claim right now with an expensive trading post. So we'll see what town Simon goes for. Again, it doesn't look to me like there's any way dwarves are connecting here for network points. They're going to have to get their points from elsewhere. So yeah, so Simon goes for the 11-point town, takes as many points off that town as possible. Just really looking for scoring opportunities here. And dwarves are going to have the ability to build out more trading posts this round. A copy of Water 1. So that's always good for points. And then we see Hephaestus prioritize Water 3 here. First action in the round. Builds a temple to claim Water 3 and to pass Simon for the to close out that cult. So I imagine Hephaestus feels that's an important swing against Simon in particular, because I don't think that's going to be the ultimately easiest way to get points, but I could be mistaken. So, but alchemists look like they're going to be able to really expand their network here, and I don't know if there's another town in it for them. Doesn't look like there is, but we'll see. So they really are speeding towards the finish here. Dwarves claim the last spot on fire. Looking to get some cult points. Alchemists claim the workers' action, and nomads build out a dwelling at A4 to continue building this town. So nomads are going to be able to build out 2 trading posts up here, and then they're going to have enough power to take out C4 and or A3. They do have their stronghold action as well, so I wonder if they'll try to use that elsewhere, or whether that'll just be how they form their town. It remains to be seen. Alright, we've got dwarves and alchemists building out more dwellings on their remaining available hexes here. Dwarves getting points for tunneling. Dwarves are really coming down to it in terms of the last of their resources here. Yep, and indeed, nomads do build out a 10 trading posts up here on the A row. I gotta say, as nice as it would have been to have been in this final, having played myself, it is a little bit of a relief, because I am fried right now after 2 games. I can only imagine how tired these players are after 2.5 themselves, almost on 3 here. But they really do, they're looking pretty sharp. I mean, these are some very strong players. So we'll see where it lands, but dwarves continue to get points with their every action. And they've got a lead in 2 cults in 2nd place and a 3rd. Alchemists still have 10 workers and 2 priests to play around with, so they're going to be able to build out, looks like just about all of their trading posts this round. And they are sitting on a copy of Water 1. So for alchemists, it looks like it's just building out all the trading posts, and then coming back around to build as many dwellings as they need to win network and get points off of Earth 1. So Hephaestus will, I'm sure, be monitoring where everyone else is at to see what's necessary there. It's possible he already has it in the bag. These are some big networks, though. Everyone's, with the exception of dwarves who aren't connected, everyone's got a pretty big network here. The Simon on dwarves has the ability to upgrade another trading. No, his trading posts are all on the board, so wonder what he'll be doing here to get as many points as possible. Yep, tunnels to I4. Is left with 2 priests and a power. So it looks like those will just be going to cults. We just fire to see. Hopefully lock up a 2nd or a 3rd there. So nomads did opt to use their strongholds here up on A3. Which means that they're down to 4 structures left on their board. do have a lot of resources, so they may be able to, and they've got a lot of power, so I imagine they'll be able to expand their network from there. But I'm sure the town will come first here. And what towns do we have available? We've still got a priest town for a lot of points. And all towns are all claimed here. 11 point is claimed. So priest town's the most pointy town left, and usually folks are going to want to go for the high point towns at the end of the game unless they have something they can better score using resources. All the players really taking advantage of the trading post around here. It's great. So yeah, I know there's a 5-minute delay, but I'd be curious if anyone's hanging out on the stream, hear from you in chat and see what you think of everyone's positions at this point with just a little bit of the last round left. Dwarves do have a sizable point lead on everyone except mermaids. And their cults look great. But they are just about out of resources. I'm trying to figure out what these other players can be doing here. Claybo's got a couple actions left, sitting on a spade bonus tile, but with no dwellings to use it on just yet. So I imagine a trading post and then another dwelling will make a lot of sense. He did manage to upgrade all the way to 5 shipping, so he is connected. Currently has 14 network, which is at present the lead. So there is a trading post for 6 points. It has enough to build out one more dwelling with that spade. So Claybo's going to finish here on. He's going to finish here on 15 network. We'll get some points off of the dwelling and some points off the pass. So Claybo's going to build everything except for the 2 big buildings on his board. So yeah, as expected, Simon's just finishing up with Priest Fire Cult here. Try to get whatever points possible there. Hephaestus is building out some more dwellings. Looks like still has the ability to build out trading post, dwelling, a couple trading posts, dwellings. Not all of them, but almost all of them. Okay, Nomads take fire too here with a temple. That temple frees up another trading post, which is going to score great this round. And fire 2 makes these 2 towns possible. We love to see 2 towns formed at once. Very satisfying. So Nomads go for a priest town and a coin town here. So they're on 12 network right now. So currently it's looking like 3rd place. So it's possible that they'll choose to upgrade digs rather than committing more resources to expanding their network significantly. We'll see. They'll definitely upgrade one more trading post because that's a lot of points. So it's coming down to it. These players are taking their last actions here, and we'll see where it all lands. It looks to be a good game. So the only player who's getting any points from a bonus tile at the end of this round is Hephaestus on Alchemists. That's 8 points right there. It looks like dwarves have 24, like low 20s cult points, but no points from their connected network. Mermaids pass for 4 points from Air 1 here, with what looks to me like a clear network win. So it looks to me like it's between dwarves and mermaids. But we'll see. So Claybo passes out of the round. Alchemists get up to 14 network here. They do have the ability to tie at 15, it looks like, so I was mistaken there. Nomads opts to upgrade shipping. Build out a dwelling here on A8. They're getting some Earth 1 points out of that. I do wonder... They do still have a lot of power, so we'll see what they can do with it. I'm certainly going to have the longest round. Yep, and indeed, alchemists build out their last dwelling. Passing for 8 points. Nomads build a trading post. Looks like they have... Oh, you know what? That's why Nomad's network looks a little bit flimsy. This F4, I think this is one of their starting dwellings, actually got stranded. So although they build up 15 structures here, they are only on 14 network. So that hurts. That's going to be good for 3rd place. Unless I'm mistaken, they don't have any points on the pass. So I don't think it's going to be Nomads here. Alright, Nomads build out a temple. Just enough juice to pass alchemists on Earth. Looks like they've got just enough in hand to upgrade shipping. Otherwise, I'm not sure what they've got in mind. But then that'll do it. So we'll just see. We'll just see as the points tally. I have not counted them up here. Partly because that's not the most fun thing to do on stream, and partly because I'm pretty tired from playing so much. One way or another, really good game by these players. A nice little tournament. So we'll see. Here come the points off the Colts. We'll let it play out. Wow. Really, really close one. Unless I'm mistaken, it looks like a tie for first. Wow. What happens in this situation? Wow. 149, 149. And Nomads do edge out Alchemists here. So that Earth 3... That Earth 3 did it to get them. Someone's joking in the chat that they gotta play another game. Wow. Tie game. Incredible. Alright, well we're gonna stick around then. Game's over, folks, but so we got all sorts of suggestions for the tiebreaker here. Let's see about the tournament. Let's see what the tournament admins say. Might be a couple minutes here. All right, let's see. We've got ourselves a tie. So I know that this tournament has a pretty rigorous system for breaking ties. We'll have to look up the rules here or wait for an admin to tell us. Wow, pretty incredible. Pretty incredible game. Oh, it's very exciting. It's very exciting knowing that anyone who's watching the stream right now doesn't yet see that it's a tie. We'll see you guys in 5 minutes. All right, so we're waiting to hear. All right, I'm pulling up the tournament info on my other screen here. Let's see. Winner of the final. Looks like the tiebreaker is tournament victory points scored. So the question is that the total number of points that they scored from their standing in the tournament? Or is that the total amount of points they scored in game? Let's see. If it is the total amount of points scored in the tournament, it looks like Simon went into this game with 13. Clay went into this game with 11.5, so that would make Simon the champ here. If I'm reading that correctly. Oh, while we're figuring out who's the actual champ here. While we're figuring out who's the actual champ here, let's at least look at these stats. Wow, quick game. Basically everybody at or below 20 minutes. Yeah, so only Alchemists got bid down in the auction. I'd forgotten about that. Speaking of Alchemists, let's see. So Alchemist got 148 VP this game, but spent 44 of them for coins. Anything else of note here? What happened with the coins action? Who got the coins action? Pretty even spread. Alright, we've got final standings. The final standings say that the board result in the final round was first for both of them. But it looks like Simon gets it. So huge congrats to Simon here. Very well played. All right, folks, I know this is very exciting programming, just sitting around waiting to see who won here. Let's see. Still waiting to hear from a tournament admin. All right, final word is in. Simon B is this year's MSO Grand Prix champion for Terra Mystica. Congrats, Simon. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for the stream. Thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Great playing. Congrats to the winner and all the medalists here. And take care, everybody.